Well, you talk about Louisiana, and you talk about our heritage and our food, things that we enjoy doing, and food comes in really as one of the absolute top things that people of Louisiana and people of New Orleans really enjoy doing. We feel that food is our most exciting, most important part of our social life. It's very hard to get any kind of social occasion happening in Louisiana or in New Orleans without food being there. When you talk about Creole food, you of course talk about New Orleans, and New Orleans Creole food is a melange, or it's a mixture of many things that has happened in our past history. It's very much like our architecture. You ride down the streets of New Orleans and you see anything. You see everything. You see grand houses. You see small, very beautiful, what we call shotgun houses, but the design on them is very much a part of it. It's very important. As each ethnic group of people or each country was in possession of New Orleans, they left something of themselves. They left their people here, and most of all, they left many of their traditions, and their traditions with food. The Spaniards were here, the French were here, the Indians lived here, the West Indies, the Negro came to Louisiana and to New Orleans specifically, and became very important in the kitchen. Each family that they worked for over an evolution of years gave them some flavor of what they wanted their personal food to taste like. And as these people, basically they were black women, taught their children how to cook, taught their daughters how to become cooks, taught their sons how to become cooks, then the evolution of what we call Creole in New Orleans started to happen.
My name is Mary Louise Thomas, and I was brought up on Bayou Lafourche by preparing a lot of food for different people. Even here and in my home, different people would come around and ask me to prepare different types of food that I was used to preparing in the country. So I just thought, well, maybe instead of just doing it at home, why not just go into a restaurant? So this is how it came about, me starting preparing food in a restaurant. And I will not use a can or a frozen vegetable unless I cannot find a fresh vegetable to my liking. I usually go to the French market and walk around and pick out my own fresh vegetables, my own fresh fish. I don't want the butcher to send me anything. I want to go and pick it out myself. Even my kitchen in my restaurant is sort of like my kitchen at home. And when people come in, they really say, oh, this is not a restaurant. It feels like at home instead of a restaurant. And this is what I want them to feel like, you know, that they are not going out to a big fancy restaurant. They are just coming to sit to a home-cooked meal. On the bayou, they had a lot of garlic and a lot of green onions, and this is important because this is all we used. We didn't have all of the spices and all of the herbs and things that they put in your gumbo. So we have to use whatever we grew in the garden. So this is the things that we use. This is fresh, some more fresh sausage. I don't think I had enough of that we will put in here. This is the only fat that I'm using. If you notice, I didn't put any roux in this gumbo. This is just all of the seasoning, Creole okra, shrimp, and fresh crab that we're putting in this gumbo. And let this simmer down for a while. Then we go back to the oven, and you have dry okra. The purpose of putting my okra in the oven is to use this okra. And we put it in the pot. It's all dried out. And we put it in the pot and we sort of saute this down for a while. Just about finished with Mary's gumbo. And this is the way it was taught me. This is what it looks like when it's all prepared. This is Mary's gumbo.
I was born and raised in the Treme area. There was a great diversity of cultures, and as a result, everybody traded food and, swapped food over the back fence. And as a result, my mother got ideas from the neighbors and vice versa. So everybody in New Orleans was exposed to food because there was so much emphasis on it in every home.
How much shrimp you need? I got it, go.
I had a natural background living in New Orleans for cooking. I feel now that I am proficient enough to classify with the best Creole cooks in the city of New Orleans. We like to think in terms of our cooking being a labor of love, because we try to put that little extra special touch in it that would make it a little bit better than everybody else's. Now this is Eddie's famous bread pudding. In many instances, it has been called lavish. I can't take the credit for this. My wife does this. But she has contributed quite a bit also to the establishment and the operation and the success of Eddie's restaurant.
This is raisins. I'm putting the last of the bread in the bread pudding. And we serve this with a whiskey sauce. I'm putting the finished touches on the pudding.